Hi guys, welcome to Knits and Stuff. Today is Sunday, March 22nd, and welcome to episode 27 of Knits and Stuff. My name is Alicia, and today we will be talking about works in progress, local delights, and wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. First, welcome to those of you that are new, and for those that are returning, thanks for coming back. If you haven't already, there's a group on Ravelry you can join. It's called the Knits and Stuff Podcast, and I'll link to that in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuff.wordpress.com. So let's get started. I have no finished objects still, but I do have some of the same works in progress that I've made progress in. And the first is my basic knee-high sock, and this is basic knee-high toe-up socks by Leslie from Single Stitch, and I'm knitting it out of Mustache Yarn Perfect Stock in the Sesame colorway, and they're on US 1s 2.25. These are Addy Turbo sock rockets needles. And I have gotten this far since we last spoke, so made a little bit of progress. I'm in the increase section for the leg, and because you can kind of see it starts to get larger, so I'm just gonna keep going until I run out of yarn. I still have this much left for the first sock, and then I have a whole another skein for the second one, so we'll see how high they get to, and I need to try these on to make sure they fit around my leg. So I've just been following the pattern for the increases, but I haven't actually tried it on yet, but I should, because it's toe up and I can easily do that. And I also did the toe from Toe Up Socks with a Difference by Wendy Johnson, and I incorporated the Fish Lips Kiss Heel as well, because I seem to like the way that fits. So that's my heel, and I also did, I probably talked about this too before, but I did the heel in from the opposite side of the skein, or of the ball, so that I didn't interrupt the color progression on this side. So this is from the other end of the ball, and then I did the heel, and then I kept going with the rest. And as you can see, the stripes are getting thinner and thinner as I get more increases, which I didn't think about, because when you look at commercial stripe socks, they're like all the same width. But it's kind of cool though to see that. So yeah, that is first works in progress. So that's coming along. And then I am still working on my shawls. The first one, and this is in the My Needle Runs Through It project bag. So the shawls that I'm working on, this is the first one, and this is the Winter Sea Shawl by Liz Abenanti, and it is out of a Verb for Keeping Warm clover in the colorway Beach Glass. And I'm knitting them on my Addy Natura Clicks, the bamboo needles, on US 6 4.0 millimeters, and I'm just kind of moving this all around. The pattern is free, and it has kind of like an asymmetrical shape with the chevron stitches, which I can focus a little bit. So you can kind of see some zigzagging going on there. So I've done that a lot lately in some of the patterns that I've worked on. So yeah, I like that, like the stitch pattern. It'll look hopefully a little bit better when it's blocked, because right now it's kind of squished up. But that is this shawl, and this is in my Ravelry anniversary bag. So that's kind of cute. And then my other shawl that I'm working on does not currently have a bag because the skein is so big, but it is the Hitchhiker. Let me bring it over. See, look, it's still, I feel like I haven't made any progress. That's it right next to my head. But this is, oh, and I'm still in the middle of a row. I said I was going to fix that, but I didn't. So this is The Hitchhiker by Martina Bem. And I'm knitting it out of worsted weight instead of the fingering weight that the pattern calls for. And it's Miss Babs Yowza What a Skein in the colorway First Dibs. So it's a variegated color, and it's kind of, I mentioned this last time too, but it's kind of like, it's turning out to be a camo looking color, which is kind of interesting. So, but yeah, this will be a nice big shawl. And I think, let's get a closer look. Yeah, I really like the purples that are in there though. So pretty. Anyway, so, too much. So this is, oh, and then I'm knitting it on my Crystal Palace bamboo needles. They're US 7s, 4.5 millimeters. And yeah, that's kind of all that. I'm trying to finish the row, but I still have, it's too much. Move on to the next work in progress. So I've been doing some spinning. I have spun a little bit on my spinning wheel, and I'm working on the loop bullseye bump, which I showed a while ago, the last time I worked on it. At least I think I shared it. I might have just showed pictures. But this is the bump, and it's a center pull roving, and it's striping, I guess you could say. But the stripes would be very far apart, and I've kind of pulled out a lot to make it easier to draft. But I think because I had this sitting around for a while, the fiber got kind of hard to pull out of the center. It kept catching on the surrounding fiber, so I tried to pull out a lot at a time while working on that. So it wouldn't break, and then I would lose it in the thing. So this is my wheel. And that is up this way. So that's what it looks like. Probably help if I move this out of the way. So I'm on the green now. There was a lot of purple, and as you can see, there's some sari silk in there. Those are the little colors that pop out from the purple. So I think the colorway is called Seriously Sorry, if I remember correctly. And underneath there should be some like pink, and I think there was some other green too. But had a big chunk of purple. Now I'm finally getting to that lighter mint green. So I'm getting there. I think this is just over 5 ounces. Let me check. Sorry for bending down. Yeah, 5.1 ounces of mixed fiber. I think it's mostly merino. And what else? I'm bending down again. Merino, nylon, bamboo, silk, Angelina, and sari. So yeah, doing some spinning. So that'll, since it's more than 4 ounces, I'll probably have to split it onto 2 bobbins, and then I'm going to 3-ply it, and chain ply it or Navajo ply it, so I'll retain that the color progression. And yeah, so hopefully I'll get that done, and maybe I'll go back to spinning some of that Corriedale fleece that I bought a while ago. I still need to swatch with it though. I spun 2 skeins a while ago, and I haven't knit with it yet to see what it feels like. But that'll be a sweater one day. So that's all of my works in progress. And that would bring us to local delights. So let's see, last weekend? Yeah, last weekend. Last weekend we went to the Walk the Moon concert in the city. Walk the Moon is, if you haven't heard of them, they're kind of an indie rock band. Rock is pretty general. It's not, I don't know if I would call it rock. It's almost like pop now. But they've been played on the radio quite a bit. If you heard their song Shut Up and Dance, that's Walk the Moon. So we went to go see them in the city at the SF Masonic in Nob Hill, and it was a really good concert. The Griswolds were opening for them, and they had kind of a similar sound, but they were also good. And yeah, I think Walk the Moon like put on a great show. And the Masonic was also really nice. Definitely one of the nicer venues that I've been to. And we were in the balcony seating, so we were up pretty high, but we were in the center, and we had a really good view of the stage. It wasn't as far back as some of the other venues can be, where they have the upper seating spread out, like sloped not that much, and then you end up like, if you're towards the back, then you're like really far back. But we could see over everyone, and even when people were standing, we could still see over them, so it was nice. And it's nice not to be in the general admission area where you have to stand for like 3 hours. But yeah, it was a fun concert though. And beforehand, we went to dinner at the Ferry Building, and then we went to this bar close in Nob Hill. So the venue is in Nob Hill, and it's not too far from any of the BART stations. It's like a mile, but it's a pretty like big walk because Nob Hill, if you're not familiar with the area, is up on a hill. So we had to walk. We walked from Embarcadero, and we walked along California all the way up, and it's pretty steep. I should have looked up the elevation, but it's a big hike. So you can take the bus too. There's a couple Muni buses that go straight up to or straight along that same route, but we just decided to walk because it was like we had time. So yeah, we went to a bar before the concert, and the reason that we went to the bar, it's called Zeki's Bar, and it's really close to the Masonic. And we went there because on Yelp there was a picture of a pheasant, like it was kind of a quirky bar. It had some animal statues, art and things up on the wall. So there was a picture on Yelp of a pheasant against a brick wall, and the pheasant was wearing a fez on its head. And I was looking at it, and I was like, does that make it a fez'ant? And I was really entertained. Sorry, that was my phone. And I was really amused by that. So I was like, we have to go to this bar. Unfortunately, when we went there, they had the pheasant, but he wasn't wearing a fez, and I was really sad about that. But otherwise, the bar was fine. We were there pretty early since we went before the concert, so it wasn't that crowded. And they have a fireplace, which if it wasn't really warm that day, it was like 75 in the city that day, which was weird. Then it would have been nice to sit next to the fireplace. But yeah, that was pretty much all that we went to in the city. Good concert venue, so if there's anything around there that you're interested in seeing, you should definitely check it out. If you don't like walking up hills, then you should take Muni or Uber or Lyft or any one of those car services. So yeah, that is Local Delights. And that brings us to Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, and I don't have anything directly related to the show to talk about, or like about the show itself, but I wanted to mention one of the podcasts that I was listening to, and they've been around for like 7 years now, I think. I've only listened to them for maybe the past year or so, but they just ended, and I know that it's great timing, but they have their whole back catalog on their website, and it's called the Doctor Who Podcast, and I'll link to it on the show notes. And they are a group of people from all over the world that just talk about Doctor Who. They talk about the show, they talk about the Big Finish audio stories. That doesn't sound like the right way, the right name, but they, I guess they're Big Finish broadcasts these these stories from Classic Who that have the voice actors, and I think they have like the doctors that are still around, or the actors who played them that are still around that actually voice them, so you get to go on these side adventures if you listen to this. But anyway, so they had people talk about that. They do show reviews or episode reviews. They do like just random trivia quizzes, and they're just fun to listen to. There are a couple people from the UK. There's one person from Australia who is pretty funny. And then there are a couple people from America, and I think that's it. And they interview people too. They have guests on their show, so I'm gonna go back and listen to their back catalog as I go through, because I was really sad when they said they were ending, but I guess it was time for them to enjoy the show for what it is, instead of having to criticize and analyze it every time it comes out. So they have 292, I think. Yeah, 292 episodes, so it's not too many. Yeah, so if you're looking for a podcast to listen to, the Doctor Who podcast is really good. And I think I'm going to go around and look for some other ones too that are still running, because I think they mentioned, or there have been guests that they've had that do their own podcasts as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it about their podcasts and everything else that I need to talk about. Social media stuff, I am Eliana Knits on Ravelry and Unperfect529 on everything else. Twitter, Instagram, that kind of stuff. And then the group is called Knits and Stuff Podcast on Ravelry, and show notes as always are at knitsandstuff.wordpress.com. So yeah, that's it, and hopefully I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Okay, bye!